क्वाड की शिखर वार्ता जो सिडनी में निर्धारित थी और जो जिन कारणों से, और वो कारण आप सब लोगों को ज्ञात हैं कि वो नहीं हो रही, और अब वो ये प्रयास क्वाड के चारों देश कर रहे हैं कि हिरोशिमा में चारों नेताओं की, शीर्ष नेताओं की उपस्थिति का फायदा उठाते हुए क्वाड की जो शिखर वार्ता है वो हिरोशिमा में की जाए। देखिए, क्वाड के जो सहयोग और सहकार्य और जो उनके सहयोग सहकार्य की प्रक्रियाएं हैं, उनकी संरचना इस प्रकार से है, उनका स्वरूप इस प्रकार से है कि क्वाड की शिखर वार्ता जब हिरोशिमा में होगी तो जो एजेंडा पिछली क्वाड की शिखर वार्ताओं में नेताओं के बीच में जिसके प्रति सहमति बनी है, उस सहमति के आधार पे क्वाड किस प्रकार से आगे सहयोग करे, आगे सहकार्य करे विभिन्न क्षेत्रों में, आर्थिक क्षेत्र हैं, मैरीटाइम डोमेन अवेयरनेस के क्षेत्र हैं, डेवलपमेंट कोऑपरेशन के क्षेत्र हैं, इंडो पैसिफिक में किस प्रकार से क्वाड देश अपना सहयोग और आगे बढ़ाएं, उससे संबंधित जो मुद्दे हैं वो सारे के सारे मुद्दे अब जो है हिरोशिमा में, यदि इस क्वाड शिखर वार्ता का समय से आयोजन हो पाता है तो उसमें वो पूरी तरह से डिस्कस किए जाएंगे। सिडनी में शिखर वार्ता का ना हो पाना और उसका हिरोशिमा में होना, वो एक प्रकार से वेन्यू में तो चेंज है, लेकिन जो सहयोग की जो मुख्य भूमिका है, उसकी जो पृष्ठभूमि है, उसके जो स्पेसिफिक एस्पेक्ट्स हैं, उसमें किसी भी प्रकार का कोई भी परिवर्तन जो है वो नहीं आएगा। जहां तक बायलैटरल द्विपक्षीय मीटिंग्स का प्रश्न है, हिरोशिमा में जापान और कई अन्य देशों के साथ बायलैटरल मीटिंग्स अभी इस समय प्लानिंग की फेज में है, अपेक्षित है अन्य नेताओं के साथ भी। जैसे जैसे ये मीटिंग्स की संरचना और इनका टाइम स्लॉट स्पष्ट रूप से निर्धारित होता जाएगा, हम आपको जो है उसकी विस्तृत जानकारी समय समय पे देते रहेंगे। Prime Minister will also hold bilateral discussions with several leaders of the G7, as also with the guest countries and the international organizations. Just to mention that besides India, Japan as the G7 presidency has also invited Australia, Brazil, Comoros, Cook Islands, Indonesia, Republic of Korea and Vietnam, and some of the international organizations, including the United Nations. A major highlight of Prime Minister's visit to Papua New Guinea is the third summit of the Forum for Indo-Pacific Island Cooperation, FIPIC, as I just mentioned earlier, which will be jointly hosted with the PNG's Prime Minister, James Marape. Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, just to recall, launched this forum during his historic visit to Fiji in November 2014, when he hosted the first FIPIC summit. The second FIPIC summit was held in Jaipur in August 2015, and both the summits have thus far seen participation of all 14 FIPIC countries. Just to list out the 14 PIC countries, these include Cook Islands, Fiji, Republic of Kiribati, Republic of Marshall Islands, Federated States of Micronesia, Niue, Republic of Nauru, Republic of Palau, Papua New Guinea, Samoa, Solomon Islands, Tonga, Tuvalu and Vanuatu. Prime Minister will also be meeting the Prime Minister of New Zealand during his stay in Papua New Guinea. This would also be Prime Minister's first interaction with the Prime Minister of New Zealand, who was sworn in as Prime Minister earlier in January this year. Question on upgradation of the current framework agreement that we have with Australia into the next one. Look, the discussions on broad basing trade, investment and other elements of economic partnership between India and Australia is an ongoing discussion. Naturally, end objective is that we try to upscale and upgrade our current framework of partnership into comprehensive economic cooperation agreement, but those conversations are still going on. At this stage, I don't think it would be correct for me to conclusively say whether we would be able to achieve that objective prior to this visit. But it is something which is very substantive, and a lot of work needs to go into it before you conclude it. Question of counterterrorism and speedy extradition of Tahawwur Rana, whether that would be taken up with President Biden in the discussions. I think that was your first question. Look, as I've already mentioned to you, the bilateral meetings on the sidelines of the G7 summit in Hiroshima are still being firmed up. So I am not going to make any assumptions about which meetings would happen, which meetings would not happen. But whatever bilateral meetings that Prime Minister holds on the sidelines of the G7 summit with whichever leader, the entire gamut of the bilateral relationship with that particular country would fall under the scope of discussions between the Prime Minister and that leader. But very specifically not connected to the question of which bilateral meeting will take place or not. Insofar as the question of Tahawwur Rana is concerned, we are in very regular touch with the US authorities to ensure that there is speedy and early extradition of Tahawwur Rana. We have all seen the judgment which was given by the local US court there. That conversation of ours with the US side is continuing.